The road to greatness is rarely smooth, and for the Springboks, the journey toward another massive showdown has taken an unexpected twist. Just when fans hoped to see South Africa at full strength, fresh injury concerns forced difficult conversations behind the scenes. Yet instead of panic, Rassie Erasmus delivered a message filled with confidence, honesty, and quiet determination. As the defending world champions prepare for a challenging trip to face Argentina in Buenos Aires, the head coach made it clear that while losing key players is never ideal, this moment could become one of the most important tests before an even bigger battle against the All Blacks later this year. Rugby is a sport where every match tells a story, and this one already feels like the beginning of something special. The biggest concern surrounds powerhouse propox Nche, whose absence leaves a noticeable gap in South Africa's front row. Alongside him, experienced lock Franco Mostert will also miss the clash as he continues recovering from a longer-term injury. Two world-class players unavailable for such a demanding contest would worry almost any nation, but Erasmus refused to let the setbacks dominate the conversation. Instead, he shifted the focus toward opportunity. According to the coach, every other player in the current squad has been cleared to play, creating fierce competition for places and giving returning stars the perfect chance to prove they are ready for the challenges ahead. That positive mindset has become one of the defining characteristics of this Springboks team. Rather than searching for excuses, they continue searching for solutions. The return of several experienced stars could not have come at a better time. Fans are expected to see familiar faces back in action, including Eben Etzebeth, whose leadership and physical presence remain among the greatest strengths of South African rugby. Alongside him, players like Lood de Jager, Wilco Louw, and Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu are all pushing to regain full match sharpness after dealing with injuries earlier in the season. Every minute they spend on the field against Argentina could play a huge role in determining who earns a starting place against the powerful Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu weeks later. Erasmus admitted the timing was far from perfect. Ideally, these players would have enjoyed carefully managed game time throughout the season instead of working their way back after injury. But rugby rarely follows the perfect script. Sometimes the biggest challenges arrive without warning, and champions are defined by how they respond. That response will now be tested against one of the toughest opponents in international rugby. Argentina have transformed themselves into one of the most dangerous teams in the world. Their relentless intensity, fearless attacking style, and passionate home support make Buenos Aires one of the hardest places for visiting teams to win. The Los Pumas have repeatedly shown they can challenge the sport's biggest nations, and they will view this match as another opportunity to make a statement. For the Springboks, this is far more than a friendly fixture or a simple warm-up. It is a genuine examination of character, fitness, combinations, and mental toughness. Every scrum, every tackle, every breakdown, and every attacking movement will provide valuable information for the coaching staff. Erasmus openly acknowledged that many of the returning players are likely to feature because this game offers the perfect environment to evaluate who is truly ready for the next stage of the season. He emphasized that the fixture was never originally planned solely as preparation for Los Pumas, but admitted that it naturally becomes an important measuring stick. Against a team as competitive as Argentina, weaknesses are quickly exposed, while players who rise under pressure immediately strengthen their case for future selection. That honest assessment highlights the remarkable depth that South African rugby has developed over recent years. Even with two key players unavailable, competition for every jersey remains incredibly intense. The lock position alone features outstanding options including Eben Etzebeth, Lood de Jager, Nche, Pieter-Steph du Toit, Vincent Chituka, Ben-Jason Dixon, Cobus Wiese, and Wilco Louw. Such depth allows Erasmus to remain patient with injured players instead of rushing them back before they are completely ready. It also creates an environment where every training session feels like a test match, because every player knows that outstanding performances are required simply to secure a place in the matchday squad. Behind the scenes, preparation has already intensified. The squad gathered in Johannesburg for several focused training sessions designed to rebuild combinations and sharpen execution before the trip to South America. Every drill carries extra importance because returning players must quickly reconnect with teammates after weeks away from competitive action. Coaches carefully monitor fitness levels while balancing workloads to ensure players arrive in Buenos Aires physically prepared without risking further setbacks. Attention to detail has become one of the hallmarks of the Springboks under Rassie Erasmus, and that meticulous planning will once again be crucial. One fascinating storyline is how this match could reshape the selection race before the blockbuster meetings with the All Blacks. Few rivalries in world rugby carry greater history or emotion than South Africa against New Zealand, and every player understands equally, a disappointing performance may force difficult decisions for the coaching staff. That pressure creates an exciting atmosphere where every individual has something meaningful to prove. Yet despite the focus on future fixtures, the message from Erasmus remains respectful toward Argentina. That respect reflects the values that have helped build lasting rivalries based on fierce competition and mutual admiration. Both teams understand exactly what is at stake, and neither side will take a backward step once the whistle blows. Supporters can therefore expect an intense contest packed with physical collisions, tactical battles, and unforgettable moments. He stressed that the match exists because of the strong relationship between the two rugby nations and should never be viewed as simply another stepping stone to the significance of earning a place in those encounters. A dominant display against Argentina could transform a squad member into a first-choice starter. For the injured players watching from the sidelines, the emotions will be mixed. Nche and Franco Mostert would undoubtedly prefer to be fighting alongside their teammates, but recovery sometimes demands patience instead of bravery. Their absence also opens the door for others to seize opportunities that may never have existed under different circumstances. Throughout rugby history, countless careers have been launched because another player was unavailable, and this could become another chapter in that tradition. Every squad member now has the chance to write their own story. As the travel squad prepares to leave for Argentina, anticipation continues to build across the rugby world. The excitement is not only about the result but about discovering which players are ready to lead the Springboks into the next chapter of their campaign. Will the returning stars immediately rediscover their best form? Can the replacements rise to the challenge against one of the world's toughest opponents? And will this performance provide the momentum needed before facing the mighty All Blacks? Those questions will soon receive their answers on the field, where reputations are earned through actions rather than words. One thing is already certain: despite injuries, uncertainty, and difficult selection decisions, the spirit of the Springboks remains as strong as ever. Under the guidance of Rassie Erasmus, this squad continues to embrace every challenge with resilience, belief, and relentless ambition. The road ahead promises fierce competition, unforgettable moments, and another opportunity for South African rugby to demonstrate why it remains one of the most respected forces in the sport. When the players step onto the field in Buenos Aires, they will not simply be preparing for future battles, they will be fighting for pride, proving their readiness, and reminding the rugby world that champions are defined not by perfect circumstances, but by the way they respond when everything is on the line.